Hey everyone, it's me, Inari Atrocious, and today I'm doing a Dupe the Vibes for the new Nomad Greek Odyssey palette. I have a pile of palettes next to me that I have from my own collection that are old makeup, well, old, eyeshadow palette makeup, whatever, that can sort of dupe the vibes for the new palette. So I'm going to go over all of those palettes that can dupe the individual shades in the new palette. I'm going to talk about what I can't dupe. And then I'm going to do an eye look with some of these palettes that I have. Just like a little kind of tutorial thing, not tutorial thing. And that is what we're going to do today. So let's get started. So let's see. I'm just going to start with what I have on top and we're going to get into it. So what I have on top is my singles palette. And what I have in here to dupe, we will start with the pink in the Nomad Greek Odyssey palette. And I have right here, I have Blushing Lizard by Half Magic Beauty. Now, the Nomad Greek Odyssey palette is, they don't have swatches as of the time I'm filming this. They've only released the inside of the palette, so I do not know exactly what that pink is. I don't know if it's a multi-chrome or if it's straight pink. So for all of these shades, I'm just giving my best approximation, just FYI. So the Half Magic shade is basically a duochrome. I'll give you a swatch of it. So it looks like this, and it is a very light, like iridescent, like blue pink kind of duochrome. It's very pretty. Let's see. Also for pink, I do have another one in my collection that could work. It's also a like duochrome kind of color. It's in the Bella Beauty Bar Basic Witch palette, and it is right up top in the center there. It is Basic Witch, and this is also like a blue pink color. You can see it here, and I'll give you a little swatch. Looks like that. And yeah, so again, I don't know if it's an exact dupe, but I could use it to get like a general vibe. I think in the text of the Instagram post, it was said to be like an Aphrodite pink. And I feel like both of those kind of give that vibe. But I mean, if it's supposed to be like a pink, I don't have like a pink. I have the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, which has like some pinks, but they're not like indie brand super bright pink. So I don't think it really fits the bill. They're pretty subtle and they're not particularly to my tastes. In that palette, there are also, again, more pink duochrome colors that kind of fit the bill of these two palettes. But I didn't pull them out because I have these two, so we're just talking about these two. But that is another palette you could use to kind of give that vibe. Let's see, so putting those aside, I also pulled out my Bella Beauty Bar Strange and Unusual palette. In the Nomad palette, there is a olive shimmer, it looks like. In this palette, there is, in the middle, there is Lost Souls. I'm not 100% sure what it looks like on camera because this is a multi-chrome. And to me, it looks olive, and a lot of times on my eyes, it looks olive. I'll give you a little swatch. So on my finger, it looks like that. And on my hand, it looks like that. And this is like, I'm not 100% sure what the multi-chrome is supposed to be, because Bella Beauty Bar doesn't generally state what their multi-chromes are, but generally it's like a green, yellow, or olive. I don't know, it's a really pretty color. I don't know what all colors are in it because like right now I'm in like a lot of lights, so the multi-chrome isn't like shifting a lot because yeah, I'm in a lot of lights. But it's a very pretty multi-chrome, and I've worn it a lot, which is why I have pan in it. But I feel like it fits the bill really well, and it's more or less my only really good olivey shimmer, and I use it a lot for that purpose, so it fits the bill for duping this. Let's see, moving on. In the Nomad Cosmetics palette, there are some cool tone browns, and my go-to cool tone browns are this, Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge. So as you can see, there are some cool tone browns in here. Also in the Nomad palette, there is what looks like maybe, I'm not sure if it's another brown or if it's a burgundy. On my phone screen, it looks burgundy, but it could be another brown. And I also have some like burgundies in here. I also have other palettes that have burgundies in them, but since I'm not sure if it's a burgundy or another brown, we'll just leave it with this palette. But yeah, so like I've got cool tone browns like here-ish. This one's a little less cool tone. This is more of a neutral, but these two right here are pretty cool toned. This one isn't exactly, I don't think, a dupe for the lighter tone cool tone brown, because on me this goes pretty pink-ish. It's a really pretty color, but it's not quite the same. But this is definitely like a cooler toned brown on me. So this definitely fits the bill. This is a little darker than what looks like in the Nomad palette, and it's more of like a neutral toned brown. But like general vibes, this is definitely close enough. So I also have, I guess I could pull it out. I also have the Melt 12th Hour stack, which has some like cool tone browns. It's got this shade. It's got this shade, although they look a little gray on me. It's got this shade, and I would swatch these, but they're cool tone browns. Like they're not like, you know, interesting looking. So I've also got sitting next to me the Cosmic Beauty Winter Wonderland. I pulled this out because in that palette there are blues and like some aqua teal colors. There's a like silvery, there's like a silvery shimmer, a white shimmer, and I've got that in here. In here is the white shimmer. It's got the blues, the aquas, all of them, all in here. And I also have, to fit that vibe, the Melt Morte palette. Lots of blues, some teals in here, so like I'm covered on the blues. What I also didn't point out, I've got it written next to me what's in the palette because I don't have my phone to look at the post. There is also like a silvery color in that palette, and I've got silvers in the Pretty Grunge palette. So I've got silvers. I also have a Danessa Myricks Color Fix pigment stick that's got like a champagne silver color, which is this one. So I've got that covered. Plenty of silvers. And then there's also a like yellow shimmer 420 palette by Melt. There is a yellow shimmer in it. Just a basic yellow shimmer. So I have that I have that covered. Let's see what else is in it. And then, okay, the last thing that I noticed that was in that palette is a mint shimmer. I do not own a mint shimmer. I did. I owned a ColourPop single. I forget what it was called, but it was a iridescent mint shimmer. I don't own that anymore. I got rid of it because I never used it. So that's not something I would use in my collection anyway, so I don't, it's fine if I can't dupe that. So I can pretty well dupe this palette, honestly. Not something I would need to buy. It's a really cool palette. I like that they did the Greek Odyssey. It's really sweet. Next up is doing a look. So for the look, I really wanted to use the yellow shimmer that's in this 420 palette because I haven't utilized this shimmer that much. And like, it's a really pretty shimmer. I was kind of surprised at how pretty it was. I was thinking of utilizing the blues because there's a ton of blues in this palette. I'm not the hugest fan of the blues in the Morte palette because they look darker on me than they do in the pan. So I was going to put that away and not use those. I was going to use the blues in the Winter Wonderland palette. I don't need the Pretty Grunge palette because, yeah, that's just browns. And then I think I'm going to skip on the olive shade. And I might use a pink actually. And I think the pink I'm going to use is actually, should I use Blushing Lizard or should I use Basic Witch? I'm actually unfamiliar with Nomad's formula. I don't know if their shimmers are more impactful or if they're more subtle. And also this, I think I've heard that their palettes differ depending on the palette, like if the shimmers are more impactful or if they're more subtle, which is fair. A lot of brands do like different formulas based on different palettes. And since I haven't seen swatches of this yet, I don't know which way it's going to go. I actually think I'm going to use Blushing Lizard because it's warmer toned. Okay, so I'm going to use Blushing Lizard, I'm going to use the Melt 420, and I'm going to use Cosmic Beauty's Winter Wonderland. And I'm going to make a blue, yellow, and pink look. Okay, so let's see. I don't have a picture of the palette that I can look to for reference because my reference is my camera. So I have to kind of do this off memory. And I think it was like fairly bright blues and brighter teals, which kind of fits with the vibe I want to go towards. And I don't think I have like quite all of the blues. And the Melt Morte is Maybe I should use the Melt Morte because the blues in here are pretty dark. So maybe I will use the Melt Morte actually looking at this. Maybe I'll use, sorry, I'm a little all over the place. Maybe I will use Fresh Air, which is this really light blue, and I'll put it in my crease here. And then I will use Noche Eterna, which is this, and I will put it out here in my outer V, and that will look darker than it does in the pan, but it still won't be as dark as the Clear Skies in Cosmic Beauty. I don't think, although it will be kind of close. And then I'm gonna do, what's it called? The yellow shimmer from 420, which is called Shatter, on my lid. And then I'm going to do Blushing Lizard on my inner corner, and I'm gonna bring it down and up and probably put it in my brow bone as brow bone highlight. So there is a pH adjusting blush for this collection, which is really interesting looking if you look at the pictures. It's got a blue part, it's got a pink part, and it's got like a beige part, I think. And for those of you who may not know, which lots of you should know by now, it just turns a bright ugly pink on a lot of people. It's pretty popular right now. I've seen like a lot of people are actually liking that color, which if you like that color, like, good for you. I do not like that color. It looks horrible on me, so definitely not something I would buy. But I mean, if you want it, they have it. It definitely just gives me trauma from when I was a child in the 90s and early 2000s when those were really popular. And it was like lip products and cheek products, and the quality was way worse and everyone just looked ridiculous. But I will say the quality has gotten better on all of those things and they don't look as bad anymore. But yeah, as you can see, this is the Melt Morte, that blue I showed you, and it definitely looks darker on my skin than it does in the pan. Because in the pan, it's a really nice, it's not as blackened in the pan. It's more of a nice like royal blue. But on me, it is a blackened blue. Also in the collection, they have, I forgot I was gonna wear my dupe of it, or the closest I have of a dupe of it, but I forgot. They have a duochrome, I think it is, highlighter, which is supposed to be pink. And I have a duochrome highlighter that is pink, because I have the Bella Beauty Bar Oracle highlighter, which has a pink in it. So like I've got highlighters. I've got pink highlighter, but I didn't wear it today. I forgot. And I did get fallout. As you can see, this melt palette gives me fallout. I'm just gonna bring this down to the bottom. Maybe we can just blend away the fallout. It's fine. Okay, now I need to blend this and try to hope I can get rid of some of this fallout. Okay, so I couldn't get rid of all the fallout, obviously. This fallout is not really the kind that can be brushed away. It's just gonna leave darkness. So there is that. That is why usually when I use like this, I do my eyes first, but whatever. It's fine. I'm not going anywhere today. I don't really care. If you do care, do your eyes first. Not that deep. It's just makeup. So yeah, now I'm gonna use the yellow shimmer in the 420 palette. And this is my first time using this anywhere other than my inner corner, so we're gonna see how this goes. And yeah, I don't have anything to dupe the pH changing blush. I don't even have like a bright pink blush. It's not really something that like I like on myself. So it's not something I would want to dupe. But like if you have a bright pink blush or you have a pH adjusting blush, like if you have a pH adjusting blush, you only need one because they all pretty much look the same. At least in my opinion, I don't think you need more than one. And I know brands will be like, oh, this one's different, this one's special, but like I think they're a little gimmicky, honestly. And they all kind of change the same color. They don't really adjust to your own personal pH. Like it'll look different on different people a little bit because your skin tone and undertones are a little different. but it's still predominantly the same color. I'm getting blue in this palette, by the way. Also, it's hard panning. This palette is hard panning as I'm using my finger, so that's great. Yeah, the shimmer is not the best, but I mean, this is like old melt quality, so that tracks. But yeah, so as you can see, this has hard panned. I don't know, sorry, I don't know if I'm too close. But yeah, this is hard panned. So that's nice. I'm gonna have to go at that with some tape, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, as you can see, this is not the best quality. Blushing Lizard next, which I'm going to put on my inner corner and my brow bone. So we're gonna do that. And Blushing Lizard does not hard pan when I use my finger. I think it's kind of made to use your finger, honestly. And this looks like it's really catching on the blue here. Being very blue, so. And like Blushing Lizard is super popular, at least on like Instagram. And I will say also like that this color of yellow that I've got on my lid is not the best for my skin tone, I don't think. So there is that. Like it's fine if I'm doing like browns, like it goes with the palette that it's in. If I use those colors and use it as like an inner corner, fine. But I feel like mixing it with like blues and having it be on my lid is a different story. But maybe that's just a personal preference. But yeah, Blushing Lizard is very blue right now because I've got blues. So I am actually gonna go back with those blues and try to fix this yellow because this yellow is really patchy and kind of gross. It did not go on very well. Maybe that yellow would be better with a brush. Okay, at least a little better. I just added a bit of dark blue in the outer corner to fix where it was like, where it drug weird. And then like Blushing Lizard kind of fixed the other, like where the crease is. So yeah, this is the look I've got so far. Honestly, the yellow kind of ruined it for me, but maybe that's just a personal preference. I feel like maybe the Nomad look, like palette colors would look better. I don't know if it's just this yellow because the 420 palette, all these colors are supposed to be like dingy colors. Although I thought that the yellow was a bright yellow, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. You tell me, what does it look like? Does it look like it's supposed to be a bright yellow? I thought it was a bright yellow because when I put it on my inner corner, it was like a bright yellow. And it kind of looks like a bright yellow shimmer on my lid, but it is, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't look that great on me. I feel like this eye look is not that great. So let me leave and finish up my eyes, my brows, my lips, my everything, and come back and we can talk about it, okay? Okay, I'm back. Let me really quickly go over what I did and then we can talk about the palette. So for my eyes, I went in with the Sephora 12-Hour Colorful eyeliner thing in my boyfriend's jeans, which is this blue. I will note this is the first time I've tried to like line my upper eyes with this. I don't know if it's just the eyeshadow I'm going over, but this kind of sucks, so yeah. And then I did for mascara, just Benefit Bow Gal Bang, black mascara, generic. For my lips, I just went with a neutral, black, and which is this little guy, NYX Line Loud Evil Genius. And then black lipstick, my usual NYX Suede Matte in Alien, which is just black lipstick. Yeah, so, oh yeah, and I forgot, I did the NYX Brow Tint Pen in Ash Brown, which I forgot to grab out to show you, but it's just, it looks like it's just a pen thing. It's generic. Anyway, so the palette. If the palette is basically greens, or not greens, it's basically teals and blues, and it's got some yellows and some browns, which basically looks like this. And yeah, I don't really like yellows on myself, and maybe those yellows would look better than this yellow. I mean, it'd probably perform way better than this yellow. But I mean, yeah, even if I didn't already have all these colors, I definitely wouldn't buy it because obviously I don't like this color combination on myself. So there's that. And I mean, obviously it's all subjective. I mean, obviously maybe it doesn't look like bad on me, but I mean, I just personally don't like it. And yeah, that yellow was not good, so yeah, yeah, obviously I can dupe the vibes. I don't know, I mean, obviously I feel like this look didn't turn out the greatest, but I mean, I feel like I duped the vibes other than I don't quite have the correct pink, and I'm missing the mint, but otherwise I basically have generally the vibes. And I mean, you probably, if you have a decent amount of colorful palettes, probably have the same colors. So I mean, you know, it's basically a blue palette with some pops. But I mean, you know, if you want to try Nomad and you're like super into blues, it could be a good palette for you if you want to try them. So yeah, like, let me know. Are you going to dupe the palette? Are you going to buy the palette? Let me know down below. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the palette? What are your thoughts on this lovely look I did? And yeah, I would love to hear from you. So yeah, if you like this content, give me a like, give me a subscribe, or not. I'm just doing it for fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.